Hello, Feral friends. Welcome back to Feral. I'm your host, Savana, Montana, and I'm super excited for today's episode. We are going to be talking about reinventing yourself. So if you've ever felt like you've had to shed a skin, or you've been afraid to shed a skin, maybe you're moving in a different direction, but you're living in your past self, you're not focusing on the person that you need to become in order to move forward or be the person that you truly want to be. Reinventing yourself is 100% necessary, and I feel like so many people are afraid to do that, but it's silly. We're going to go through all the reasons why it's scary as shit to reinvent yourself. We're going to go through why it's empowering to reinvent yourself, and then we're going to go through some of the tips and tricks that I've used to reinvent myself so many times throughout my life to get to where I am today. So if you're feeling guilty, if you're feeling confused, if you're feeling conflicted, if you're just bored in life and you're like, fuck, I need to change, I need to do something different, let's shake it up, then you're probably at a point where you also need to reinvent yourself. Let's redefine what reinvention really means, especially when you're doing it to yourself or on yourself or with yourself or however you want to frame it in your mind. What does reinvention look like? Well, it looks like you're kind of sick of your own shit. You don't really want to be this version of yourself anymore. You've outgrown it. You've outgrown maybe your job. You've outgrown maybe your friend group. You may have outgrown your relationship. There's a series of things. There's so many things that you could go through in life that just call for reinnovation, to change things up. It's not about having imposter syndrome, which we spoke about last week a little bit. We touched on it. There's different routes of imposter syndrome, some good, some bad. We didn't go into the thick of it, and we're not going to go into that now, but it's not a bad thing to reinvent yourself. Just because you're changing and you're growing into the new version of yourself or the person that you want to become is not a bad thing, and you're not an imposter for doing that. You're doing it because it's necessary. You're stepping more fully into that version of yourself. So if you want to become something more, or you want to become something better, or you want a new life or a new relationship, or just a change of scenery, it's time to reinvent yourself. It's time to change those things around you. You're not flawed. You're not a liar. You're not making it up. You're just growing and evolving. And sometimes it's difficult because you feel attached to the old version of yourself. And that's okay. It's okay to feel attached to who you once were because it's warm and fuzzy. It's so cozy to be who I already was, and I've been this way for so long and I don't want to change. Change is good. Growth is good. Reinventing yourself is necessary to get to the place that you want to be. So the sooner you can get to that conclusion, the faster you can move on and become the best version of yourself. But don't beat yourself up or all the past versions of yourself that you were. All of those versions of you were necessary. They were all purposeful. They were all part of the journey to get to where you are today, and they're still going to be a part of the journey to get to where you're going. But you have to let them go at some point. So it's okay to shed that skin. It's okay to change up and walk in a new light and step into some new shoes and totally reinvent yourself. It could be something subtle. Something like coloring your hair or rearranging your furniture. Or you could quit your fucking job and move to another city or another state. It's as drastic as you want it to be, but the choice is completely yours. Either which way you go, it's totally cool. It's totally necessary. And you're going to fall in love with it because every version of yourself is something new. It's something exciting. It's a new part of who you're becoming. So when you think of that person, that version of yourself that you really want to be, or who you want to become, or where you're going with your life, what does that look like? Beautiful, right? It should look beautiful. It should look exactly how you want it to be because that's your future self. That's where you're going with your life. But right now in this moment in time, maybe this isn't the version of you that's going to make that person happen. For example, a version of myself that I used to be was a people pleaser. I was super friendly. I would keep my mouth shut and make everybody else happy and be super committed to everybody else's shit and all of their things to make them feel good and them warm and fuzzy. And that wasn't a bad version of myself to be. It sounds terrible now because I've overcome those things and those pieces of who I was, but they were necessary and they were great because I learned selflessness. I learned how to put other people first. I learned how to build people up and empower other people to be their best selves and do what they want to do and be successful in life and push them and support them and, put myself to the wayside. But I took it so far that it became unhealthy for me. So before I started this show, and I know that this is repetitive because I use this all the time in my episodes, and I probably will for the next couple of shows, at least, just because it's the best reference that I have for most of the things that we've been discussing. But I was learning how to get here. Like I said, the introductory, I postponed starting this show, setting my goals, and building this dream of having my own podcast. I delayed it for years and years and years because I wasn't that version of myself in order to do it 3 years ago. I understand that now, but I didn't understand it then. So the version of myself that I was before this was very scarcity mindset, very nervous. A big thing for me was being afraid to say what I think and say how I feel, which those of you who know me in real life, you're like, when has Savannah ever shut up about how she thinks or how she feels? It's a lot different when you're sitting behind a camera and doing it and you're on a mic and you have an entire platform where anybody and everybody can hear you. But I wasn't at that place in my life to do that because I had so many fears. I was worried about judgment. I was worried about what people were thinking about me. I was all of these things that weren't serving me, but in that time they were serving me because I didn't know it then, but I was overcoming all of those fears and all of those traits about myself in order to become the person that is sitting in front of you today on this show, in front of this mic, on this camera. So necessary. It kind of sucked in the middle of it, but I didn't really know that it was all happening. So that version of myself served a huge purpose because the scared little me who was afraid to become this version and show herself to the world was actually working it that entire time. So it seems like it's very far away, but you actually are doing it in real time. So it's fearful, it's scary, you overthink it a lot, but you'll get there. So if you feel like you've been that version, or maybe you're that version of yourself right now, and that doesn't suit you for what you're trying to build or who you're trying to become, great. That's okay. Doesn't have to be. I want to say that it was super empowering to shed that version of myself and that skin of who I used to be. And it was extremely empowering, but it's also scary as shit. To be honest with you, you're detaching yourself from so many old things and you're moving forward into the direction that scares the shit out of you. If your dreams don't scare the shit out of you, they're not big enough. My dreams are huge, so they're frightening, which is great, but it's paralyzing sometimes. Letting go of my old self wasn't a small task, but the more that I did it and the more that I paid attention to doing it, it became easier and easier and easier. And also, you don't have to let go of every part of yourself when you do that. You can pick and choose what you're letting go of, and you should be picking and choosing the things that no longer serve you, the habits that no longer serve you, the lifestyle that no longer serves you, the people in your life that no longer serve you. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to kick people out of your life. You can. I mean, that's an option. It's a hard one, and it's a painful one, so I don't recommend going that route, but you can do it. If there's things that you really like about yourself, take those with you when you go. You're reinventing yourself. You don't have to start from square one. You've built up this person. You've reinvented yourself so many times. You might not even realize how many times you've invented yourself. Let's think about that for a second. Go back to high school, your freshman year. Who were you your freshman year of high school? Who were you friends with your freshman year of high school? What did you wear? What phase were you going through at that time? I think in middle school, I went through like my emo phase. And then when I was in high school, I was a cheerleader. I played rugby. I went through my redneck phase, which is the phase that stuck with me forever. But that's one that I took with me when I left because it was always a part of who I was. But think of all the phases that you go through. the clothes that you wear, the friends that you hang out with. Maybe you're friends with everybody. Maybe you're super cliquey. I mean, everybody's different, but you go through a lot of phases, even if you don't realize it. You've done it in your life, in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s. You're still reinventing yourself, and it's okay. I think that there's a huge disconnect there where people think that they have to be the same, or when they run into people from their past and they've evolved and they've changed, they have to go back to that version of themselves, but they don't. Just show who you are. I think that might be the scary part. So was shedding that skin difficult? Yes. Was it worth it? Yes. Was it empowering? Absolutely. Was it scary as shit sometimes? Sure. But the more I did it, the easier it got. And now here I am. So this is who you have now. This is the new version of me that I get to give to you because I worked so hard to find her, and you should be doing the same. Also, I think there's a lot of fears that come along with it, maybe disappointing other people or being questioned by other people. When you change and you evolve and you reinvent yourself, everyone around you who was a part of that previous version of you, their hair's going to stand on end. Little red flags are going to start going up. They're going to start to pay attention more. Unfortunately, people are not as positive as you would like them to be. So it might make you feel uncomfortable by showing that new version of yourself because they may not agree with it. But that's okay. They don't have to agree with it because they're either going to grow and evolve with you and accept you for the new version of yourself, or they're not, and they'll just fade away. That is completely up to them, but don't let those people and those voices stop you from becoming that next version of yourself, because that's necessary for you to get to where you're going. So you can't let the outside voices seep in too much because it's overwhelming and it's unnecessary. You do kind of feel disappointment in a sense of like you're letting people down because they're so comfortable with who you are. But you can't stay the same forever. And most of the time when you play a certain role or position in that person's life, they're just scared of what your relationship with them is going to look like moving forward. Because it's scary. They're like, well, I'm used to you being this way, or I'm used to you being funny, or I'm used to being sarcastic, or I'm used to you giving me all of your time, or picking up the phone whenever I need you, or not dressing up, always wearing a hoodie, whatever it looks like. There's a billion different ways to reinvent yourself, and we'll get into that. But don't do it for anybody else, and don't not do it for anybody else. Just do it for you. That's the most important thing. Who do you think you are? What's the fear of judgment? People are judging you and watching you change, and they don't necessarily agree with it. Yes, does it suck to be judged? It never feels good. But the way that I look at judgment and the fear of it, because I deal with this a lot. I mean, shit, I'm on a fucking podcast. I'm on social media all the time. I host live events in person, in real time, in real life. It's constant. Judgment is constant. People judge even when they don't know they're doing it. I do it. I'm guilty of the same thing. It doesn't feel good. But you're going to deal with the fear of being judged, and then you're also going to deal with the actual judgment that people give you when you change, when you choose to reinvent. The best way to handle it is just do it anyways. Don't focus on other people's thoughts of you, because what they think of you doesn't matter. What you think of you matters, and where you're going in your life is what matters. So changing and reinventing and growing into that version of yourself is the most important thing. Does it suck to be judged? Sure. Are you afraid of it? Yes. But you don't have to be, because it's going to happen regardless. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Whether it's somebody on social media, a random fucking stranger, a store clerk, your grandmother, your brother, your best friend, your boyfriend, it doesn't matter. Everybody on some level is going to have some sort of judgment, because you're changing and people aren't used to that. People don't like change normally. Some people love it, but it's rare when they see it in someone else. And you just have to overcome the judgment. Just don't let it seep in. Don't let it consume your mind, because it's always going to be there on some level. And this isn't the first time that you're going to reinvent yourself moving forward. You're going to continue to do this. Like I said, you've already done this several times throughout your life. So the faster you can overcome the fear of judgment and just face the fact that it's going to happen anyway, just don't let it affect you. I know that's easier said than done. And it's like, wow, Savannah, that's really great fucking advice. I know. But It's true. People will judge either way. Just don't be afraid of the fear of the judgment, because that's just going to postpone your reinvention so much longer and prolong it. And it's going to take you further to get to that version of yourself that you want to become. So don't let it consume you. Just take it on the chin and keep it fucking moving. Fear of failure. This is a really good one because it's something that I have dealt with and faced my entire life. Actually, I'm facing it just by being on this show right now. I am so afraid to fail that I don't try things. That's literally been my biggest problem in life. I'm so fucking scared to mess up or fall flat on my face that I won't move. I won't even dip my toe in the water, let alone cannonball into it, which is what I did with Farrell. I cannonballed into this show. Like, it was, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just going to do it, which was the best way. Just, I'll figure it out on the way down. But you're not going to fail at the person that you're becoming. There is no such thing as failure. I think that it's such a negative word. There's so much negative connotations behind the word failure because we were raised, especially in the United States, raised to be perfect and be competitive and always be right and never be wrong. I mean, families are competitive, friends are competitive, schools, sports, all of the things. You don't ever want to fail. You always want to be number one. You always want to be right on. But that's not reality. That's not real. And you become better at what you're doing and what you're working for when you do fail, because failing is just lessons. That's it. So if you reframe the failure in your mind and start looking at it like, damn, well, I learned I'm never going to do that again. Well, I learned that person fucking sucks. Well, that path, not going to go down it again. So sure, you might mess up or might not be ideal, or you might get a setback, but you're not a failure because you failed at something. You learned what not to do. So if a version of yourself didn't apply to the version that you're trying to build to become who you want to be, that's just an example of who's not going to work for you. That version of yourself doesn't work. That's okay. You didn't fail. You just learned what not to do. You're going to feel some sort of detachment with yourself because you're so loyal to the person that you used to be. You loved that version of yourself. It was comfy. It was cozy, remember? That's okay. Like I said, pick and choose the things that you take with you when you go, but you can't take everything with you when you go. So choose your top favorite things about yourself, maybe the top 3, and keep those into your next version of yourself. But you don't owe the past version of yourself anything. You're changing for a reason. You're reinventing yourself for a reason. And it's necessary for the person that you want to be and where you want to go. So don't look back and think, oh, I missed out, or I'm such a good person, or this is who I want to be, or this is who I've always been. That's just a self-limiting belief. You have to evolve at some time. You have to grow. And part of growing is having those hard conversations with yourself and saying, look at myself. This is not the person that I want to be. I did not think this is the person that I was going to become. I'm 28 and I'm overweight, or I'm 35 and I'm not in a relationship, but I also don't go on dates. You see, you have to put yourself in a situation to win. Maybe I'm 60 and I never bought that car that I really wanted. Whatever it is for you, you can do it. Maybe not monetarily. Maybe you have to work yourself through some of these things, but reinventing yourself and being the person you want to be, that's who you should be loyal to. Be loyal to the future version of you. Be loyal to your future self. Don't be loyal to your past. Your past is there for a reason. It's not supposed to be in your present on all angles. It served its purpose. Just like a job. For instance, if you had a job at a grocery store, and your job at that grocery store was being the stocker, and you worked the night shift, and you stocked all of the shit in the middle of the night when no one's there. You put in your AirPods and you listen to your music or your podcast, and you did all of the stocking. Well, you know that you're not going to be a grocery store clerk stalker for the rest of your life, right? Well, unless you want to be it, but let's hope not. Let's hope that all you did in that job was utilize the skills of organization, so that when you became the next version of yourself that wanted something bigger and better, you use those skills and those traits of that version of yourself to copy, paste, and reapply it into the person that you became on a higher status. So now I own my own business. I'm extremely organized because I know how to compartmentalize everything. But had I not had that job at a grocery store stocking things, I wouldn't be as organized as I am today. Maybe that's not a great example, but it was necessary for you to use that and pick up those traits to apply them to the next best version of yourself. I feel like I'm going to talk about this on every episode. People pleasing. You're just doing everything to make other people feel comfortable. Don't stay the same. Don't keep playing small for everybody else's comfort, because you're not going to get to where you want to go. You're not going to become the best version of yourself if you can't own your shit and say, you know what, this isn't working for me. I love you, but I don't live to please you. I'm not the yes man anymore. I've got to keep it moving. I actually want to change. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live here. I don't want to be this person. I don't want to dress this way. I have so much more gas in the tank. I have so much more potential. Once you start to have those conversations with yourself, you have to step into it and embody it. But don't people please and don't hold yourself back, because then you'll be like me 3 years later and just starting your show or living your dreams or working where you want to work or being who you want to be because you were too busy playing it safe for nobody's benefit but them. Like, it's not benefiting you to do that. So remember, people pleasing is usually not ever the answer unless you're a server at a bar. We're not here to please, okay? The customer is not always right. We don't live that way, okay? No more people pleasing, for the love of God. There's even moments in time where I've held myself back because I was afraid of what was coming and what I was changing into. And a big one was who I was going to show up as on this show. Who is Savana Montana? Why is she? What is she? How does she roll? What does she do? Well, I know all of those things, but showing them to the world, a whole nother conversation. Because of that fear of judgment. Well, what will people say? Well, what will people think? What if I put my foot in my mouth? I put my foot in my mouth all of the time. Literally, I'm like, I can't get enough of it. It's a problem. I'm always getting myself in trouble. But now I'm doing it on a larger scale where anybody can judge me. Anybody can say what they want to say. I'm basically welcoming commentary into my life and my opinions and my values. So it came up for me because I was totally afraid of what people would think and how people would treat me. And what if I mess up? What if I don't even mean to say the wrong thing and it just comes out the wrong way and then people hear it a certain way? Like, now you're starting to understand my brain, and it's like wackadoo-ville in there. Because women, we tend to know the reality of a situation, and then we hyperanalyze the hypothetical of the situation, which is super captivating in the worst sort of way. So yeah, I was afraid of what it would do to me and what people would say, especially family members mostly, I think. It wasn't so much friends, because I have more friends in my life today than I ever have, definitely more than 3 years ago, but I've always been kind of a lone star, to be honest. So I was never really afraid of that, and I've always believed that the people are for me or the people who will find me. So I've never been worried about that so much as family things, because of the way that my life went, or the way that my childhood, or the experiences that I've had with family members, or even how I speak. I think I apologize on this show all the time to my grandmother. I'm like, how many F-bombs should I drop on this show? She's going to be so disappointed. But it's who I am, and I can't pretend to be somebody that I'm not. Not just for one person. I don't love my grandmother any less for every time I drop an F-bomb on this show. But I have to be feral. I have to be unapologetic about who I am. I have to step into my authenticity and always be true and always be honest. So if something flies out of my mouth, I just have to own it. So I think that was a big scarcity mindset moment for me, where I was facing the person that I not had to become. It's who I already was, but it's not the person that I was showing to the world. And I wasn't showing up that way in my life. So that was a big, I was holding back in that moment for sure, because I was afraid. I was afraid of what people would think of me. But now that I'm here, it's such a beautiful place to be. I'd much rather be on this side of it. I wish I would have faced my fears a long time ago. I wish I would have stopped fearing failure and judgment 3 years ago, because it's not that bad. It's not that scary. Just like posting something on social media, my girlfriends all the time, oh, I don't want to post it. Oh, but what will people say? Oh, but what did, like, you're overthinking it. Just scare the shit out of yourself. Do yourself a favor. Whatever's on your social media that you haven't posted, post it. Take your phone right now. Don't even read it. Don't add a caption. Don't edit. Just post it and find out how not scary it is. The more repetitions you have of that, the less and less it will scare the shit out of you. And you'll realize, wow, I can't believe I was that afraid to do something so silly. So don't hold yourself back. Don't let other people hold you back. Don't let fear of judgment, fear of failure, or fear of other people's opinions hold you back. Not worth it. Take my advice. Staying where I was and playing small cost me one of the most valuable things in life that you can never get back. The number one thing for me is time. Anything that costs you your time isn't worth it. If it's taking your time out of your day, out of your life, out of your mind, your soul, every fiber of your being, run from that. Because time is, it never stops. You never get it back. It's a non-negotiable for me in life. So I think one of the biggest things that I realized had cost me having that mindset and not reinventing myself and not stepping into my truth or becoming this version of myself was losing all of that time. 3 years is a really long time. Did I do amazing shit in those 3 years? Sure. But looking back, I'm like, damn, I really would have liked to rewind and not burn all that time on silly little things. But timing is everything. And as a woo-woo, junky, universe girly, I know that timing is everything and it has its place for a reason. So no matter how, it would have worked out the same way. But you can ask God or your higher powers or whatever you're into. Timing is everything, but I would say that it cost me time, and that's something that I can't get back. So if I could go back in time, I would rethink being afraid and overthinking fear of judgment or other people's thoughts of me in order to step into my true self and reinvent myself once again to be who I truly am and not be afraid to show that to the world, because you don't know who else to be. I don't know who else to be. Everybody else is taken. So the best person that I can show up as is Savana. That's it. So you should be showing up as yourself, fully, unapologetically, authentically, all of the time, even when it scares the shit out of you, because you're going to start pushing out the things and the people in the world that doesn't belong to you, and you're going to start pulling in all of the things, the people in the world that does belong to you. So in the moments where you feel like it's scary, just reframe it in your mind and know every time you say no, you're saying yes to something that serves you, and vice versa. Let's get into the fun part. Signs that you're ready to reinvent yourself. Yes, if you're uninspired in your life and you're just bored out of your fucking mind, that's a really good time to reinvent yourself. Like reinvent who you are, what you do, where you go, the space that you're in. Like I said a little bit ago, move. Get a different apartment. If you don't want to get a different apartment or your lease is still 6 months in, change everything around. Start throwing shit away. One of the best things that you can do is just offload shit and reorganize. When you walk into a fresh new pad, a new style, a new home, you feel better. So you can reinvent your space, or you can, if you feel like you're bored and you're uninterested in everything around you, start changing the things that are around you. Physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things. Start changing them rapidly, because it's going to trickle into you also changing yourself. It could be even your makeup routine or your hair or the clothes that you wear. Change them. Change all of it. Chop your hair off. Color it. Wear makeup. Don't wear makeup. Wear a hoodie. Wear high heels. Whatever that looks like for you, start changing things and see how it makes you feel about yourself. If your environment no longer reflects your energy, then, like I said before, move, or it even could be your work environment. Maybe talk to your boss and say, hey, can I start working from home instead of coming into the office, or vice versa. Maybe you don't want to work from home anymore. Maybe you need to be around more people. Change your environment, change your state, Maybe you don't like the gym that you go to a different gym. Maybe you don't like where you live. Move. You can move out of the state. You can move out of the city. You can move wherever it is that you want to be. That comes with a lot more work and a lot more back end thinking. It might take a little bit more time, but if you're sick of your shit and you're sick of everything around you, move. I've done it several times. Montana, Colorado, Florida, back. I've lived in several different places in South Florida and on the west coast of Florida. Just change your state. Also, this is a gold nugget. This is not the topic of conversation, but I will give you some gold, ladies and gentlemen. If you are broken in a place and you are heartbroken or you're family broken or you're personally broken, whatever that is, whatever broke you in that place, get out of that place. You can't heal where you're broken. So if you need to reinvent yourself and you're getting rid of something, some people are so opposite of me on this and they're like, well, your problems follow you wherever you go. Yeah, but at least I have those problems in a fresh new fucking place. And I don't got to see anybody that I know. I don't have to go to the same job or hang out with the same people or run into my ex in a bar or my family at the grocery store, whatever that looks like for you. Do it. Like, take my advice, totally change your surroundings because it will make a massive difference in ways that you would never even expect. Another one could be craving something more, craving something bigger, craving something deeper, like myself. I wanted to change. I wanted to start a podcast. I wanted to start putting myself on social media. I wanted to start hosting events that aligned with my brand. My brand aligns with me. It's a personal brand for a reason. It's personal to me. It's what I represent. If you're craving something more, focus on that craving, not cake. Cake is an option, but that's not what we're talking about here. If you want to change your life, what's going to make you happy? For the listeners, just take a moment and think about what is really going to make you happy. Who do you want to be? What does that person look like? Who are you right now that you have to overcome in order to become that person? Think about it. What are your dreams? What are your wildest dreams? Which dreams scare the shit out of you? Which seems so out of touch, out of reach? You have a deeper craving for something more in life. That means that your intuition is knocking on your heart and on your head and saying, we've got a problem. We need to reinvent. This isn't going to cut the cheese. This isn't going to cut the deal. We're not going to get to where we're going if we don't do this right now. Something in your body is telling you there's more out there and you're worthy of that. Go get it. Reinvent yourself. Slough off that old skin and rebuild it. Like snake skin. Like, you know what peels off? You're like, whoa, God, this is awful. Get it off of me. Do that. And then paint new scales onto yourself. Whatever color that is, whether it's metallic, it's glitter, it's matte, whatever color is for you, and start building towards that deeper connection that you have with that thing that you want to do or that place that you want to go or that relationship that you want to build with yourself, with other people. Or whatever is deeper, there's meaning behind that deep feeling that's coming out of you. And it's coming to you for a reason. That means it's time for reinvention. You cannot stay the same. Some people do. Some people have mastered the art of staying the same, which is crazy to me because, like I've said many times before, the only constant in life is change. That's wild. So people that don't change are not the kind of people you want to hang out with. But if your body's telling you there's something more, there's something deeper, I want to go get it, it's time to reinvent yourself 100%. If you're scared of reinventing yourself, but you're curious about who you're going to become or what reinventing yourself looks like, that's a really good sign. And I know that it's hard and I know that it's scary and you're so comfy, cozy being who you are right now. But the curiosity part is going to get you so much further. So focus on the curiosity and don't psych yourself out. You can take curiosity and freak yourself out about every single thing and overanalyze and talk yourself out of all of those things and what you'd have to do in order to become this and do that. Don't psych yourself out. Use that curiosity to get excited. What of all the good possibilities? What if I did do this? What if I could accomplish that? What if I really am that person? Psst, spoiler alert, you really are that person. It wouldn't just come to you out of thin air. It's giving you attention and it's scaring you because it's trying to say, hey, what's that over there? Let's go in that direction. So if it does scare you and you are curious about it, Another great reason to reinvent yourself. Fall into that curiosity. It's a good thing. Is it scary? Yes, but all the best things in the world are scary. So just do it anyway. Just stay positive, focus on the curiosity and make light of it and get excited about it. Don't over scare yourself. Push the scarcity to the side, jump into the curiosity. If you're tired of explaining yourself, oh my God, this is my MO in life. I feel like I live to explain myself. Even after reinventing yourself, by the fucking way, you still have to explain yourself to everybody because people just don't pick up. They don't get with the program. And you don't have to tell people to fuck off, but you can if you want. Sometimes I do. Just kidding. I'm not kidding. No. Yeah, if you have to explain yourself to everybody, those are not your people. If you're going in a direction and people are constantly questioning you and like, well, why are you doing this? Or who do you think you are? Or what the fuck are you doing? Or yada, yada, yada. Not that people would really say that to you, but they might make you feel that way. Some people might actually say that to you. If you constantly find yourself trying to explain who you are or why you are or what you are, first of all, cut out those people. It's not going to work out for obvious reasons. But also, just stop explaining yourself. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You don't owe anyone an explanation for who you want to be or where you want to go or what you want to do with your life. You owe 0 people that. What you do owe and who you owe is yourself. So take this as your permission slip that you're giving to yourself. I'm not giving it to you. You're giving yourself the permission slip to say, hey, I can be whoever the fuck I want to be. Sign, dotted, XO. That's it. Don't explain yourself to people that don't understand you. Spend your time talking to people who already do understand you or want to get to know you better, but don't keep telling people over and over, well, this is what I'm about and this is who I am, because you'll just beat your head against a wall until you suffocate to death. Like it's not worth it. So don't explain yourself. If you feel like you have to, it's definitely time for reinvention, or it's a sign that you're actually already reinventing yourself and people are starting to look around and question you. So for a moment, lastly, before we move on, think about a place, a time, a relationship, a job, a place, a space, wherever that you feel like you want to reinvent yourself, but you're holding yourself back. So do you want to show up differently? Maybe it's your personality. For me, I like to be loud. I'm a big personality, and I feel like I still hide it from the world at times or in rooms that I'm in because I'm quirky, I'm loud, I'm funny, have a super edgy sense of humor, which most people don't understand. So I try to keep it at bay. But here, I'll even use myself as an example. That's a problem. I need to give myself permission to be more funny in front of people. Whether they understand me or not is irrelevant. I need to put myself in the situation to say, hey, I give myself permission to be edgy as fuck because it's who I am. So you should do the same. So if you can think back to a time or something present in your current life, more importantly, that you would like to express yourself more or deeper or louder or show up more, dress different, go different places, have different conversations, be more meaningful, anything that you feel like you're shrinking or you're hiding from and you haven't given yourself permission to change it or reinvent it or update it, then that is definitely a sign that it's time for a reinvention, because everyone else's image of the current version of you or the old version of you is just their image. It's also your image. So if you don't like the light that you're seeing yourself in, it's your sole responsibility to fix it. So reinvent, change, fall in love with the new version of yourself and say goodbye to the old version of yourself. Everybody else will have to eventually, but you get to do it first. So sign that pink slip. It's time to go. So let's jump into the mindset shift that you're going to go through in order to begin your reinvention of yourself. If you are telling yourself, which you may or may not be, I have done this in my experiences, I have done this many times. If you're telling yourself that something's wrong or you're not worthy of it or you're not good enough or you're not capable or all those things, it's all bullshit. You're not wrong for changing. You're evolving. You're doing what you're humanely designed to do. So don't talk yourself out of it. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not an imposter because you're deciding to change the world around you and yourself from within. You're just changing. You're just reinventing. There's so much empowerment in that, but don't talk yourself out of it, and don't tell yourself that you're wrong. Tell yourself that you're evolving. This is an evolution for your life, and it's necessary. And if you don't focus on the person that you want to be, you may start to become the person that you don't want to be. Because if you're giving yourself negative self-talk and negative connotations and talking yourself out of all the things that you really want to be, you're going to turn into somebody that you really don't want to be. So don't tell yourself you're doing something wrong. You're absolutely not doing anything wrong by reinventing yourself. But think about it as an evolution. Also, a big mindset shift is letting go of the previous labels of your life. Previous labels for me, party girl, for sure. Life of the party, absolutely. Funny kid, the fat girl. I was the funny fat girl for a long time, and I never used the F word. Fat is the F word. You can say fuck around me as many times as you want, but in my house, the F word is fat. It's not a nice word. But I was the funny fat girl. And I still am on the inside, but I don't tell myself that anymore. I have let go of the labels that were put onto me that I accepted. Some of them I created myself, like being the life of the party, being the class clown. I didn't have any shame. I really embodied. I was a lot when I was younger. But let go of those old labels of you. If they don't serve you anymore, even if people are still calling you that, or if it's like family and you run into them every once in a while, you're like, please stop labeling me as that or calling me that. And it sucks to hear. You, more importantly, need to let go of those labels because they don't define who you are anymore. So it's a lot easier said than done. But once you stop accepting it and you don't replay those labels or those words or voices in your head and in your mind anymore, it's a lot easier to start reframing the new form of who you are as a person and start relabeling yourself. Labels are not always a bad thing. Labels are for soup cans. I used to say that all the time. But if you're labeling yourself for something positive and something that you want to become or something that you're becoming or whoever that version of you is and it's positive, label it. Say, this is who I am. I'm this, I'm that, I'm whoever the hell I want to be. Give yourself a label as long as it's in the direction that you want to be going. But anything that's negative or anything that's part of your past, just brush it to the side because it's of no elemental matter at this point. It's irrelevant. So cut out the labels, reframe or repurpose your labels for new things that are part of your reinvention. Probably the best mindset shift for reinvention is asking yourself who you are. Who do you want to become? What does that person look like? Who is she? How is she? What is she? All of those things. Really get to know that version of yourself. Dream about her or him. Think about what they look like, what you look like in that future you, how you dress, where you live, what you drive, who you hang out with, who you speak to, how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you walk into a room. And start applying those little characteristics throughout your day, one step at a time. Once you really get to understand the version of yourself that you want to become, it gets a lot easier to actually step into those shoes and fulfill them. So how are you going to support that person? By stepping in, by practicing what you preach or what you're dreaming about or what you're imagining. That reinvention of yourself, act as if every single day. Even if it's not your reality, fake it till you make it. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not less of a person. Most of the best people in the world have all done that. So just do it anyway. But give yourself the benefit of the doubt and give yourself your power back in knowing I can step up this way. I can show up this way. And if you're around people that don't allow you to support yourself and your change and your reinvention, then do it alone. Do it by yourself. Introduce yourself to new people who do like that version of you. Make new friends. Make new choices. Change your life. But stay in contact with that version. Even if you have to write it down. I'm a big journal junkie. Everybody knows that. Write this shit down. It's so helpful to get something out on paper and then imagine it in your mind. Visualization is one of the biggest manifestation tools in the world Many, many successful people speak about it. So visualize that person. Talk about her or him. Act as if. Pretend that you're already there. Walk into a room or show up to a random place or a restaurant or somewhere with your friends and show up as that version of yourself and see how you feel. Because if it feels amazing, then you're probably moving in the right direction. But support that version of yourself and consistently ask yourself, who is that person? Why is that person? What is that person? And what am I doing today, right now, in order to become that version of myself? So here are some actions that you can take in order to start moving in the direction of the reinvention of yourself. One being, change one daily ritual that no longer serves you. So if you have any bad habits, I could go into a list of bad habits and I don't really want to, but I can. If you have any bad habits or things that you want to shake, just get rid of them, offload them. And not so much as just offloading them, but replacing them with something healthy. So for simplicity, if you like to binge watch a TV show when you get home from work and you're like, this is my vibe, this is my show, I get comfy on the couch, I make some popcorn, life's good. This is me chilling. That sounds perfect to me, by the way. But anyways, if you want to binge watch a show for 3 hours, okay. Maybe don't binge watch your show for 3 hours. Maybe take an hour of that to focus on yourself. Grab a journal. Write some shit down. What am I doing in my life that I don't like? What am I doing in my life that I do like? Who is the version of myself that I need to become? Start talking to yourself. Start talking and writing things down into that journal to prepare yourself for the version that you're going to become or the person that you need to become. Or if you have any unhealthy habits or things that you just want to change, move them, take them away, remove them from your life, and replace them with things that do serve you, not that take away from you, not that burn your time or waste your energy. I know that social media is a huge one. We sit and we scroll and we scroll and we scroll. Some of you probably have tech neck at this point. I know my grandfather does. I love him dearly, but he loves his TikTok. If you're mindlessly scrolling, maybe put your phone down early, do no screen time for 90 minutes before you go to sleep. Talk to yourself in the mirror, reaffirm your beliefs, eliminate your self-limiting beliefs, do a night care routine, read a book, read the Bible, whatever you can do that's going to put you in the mindset or the headspace to get closer to the version of yourself that belongs to you, that you truly want to become. Do that instead. There's a lot of little ticky-tacky shit that we do that we can replace with positive habits. Even spending time to learn a new language instead of texting back with your boyfriend or girlfriend or sitting on the phone with your mom for an hour. Not that we don't want to talk to mom. We love mom. But utilize that time for something better. Maybe you want to be a successful business person, or you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to travel the world. Well, where do you want to travel to? Well, do they speak a different language? Maybe try to learn that language. What does that version of yourself look like? And start to pull things into your life that actually apply to your new self. Also, you can start speaking as your future self. How do you sound? What do you say? What are the things that you talk about? How do you carry yourself? How do you walk into a room? Speak those things into existence. Talk like that person. Be like that person. I didn't always sound like this on a mic. I don't know actually how I ever sounded on a mic because I never sat in front of a mic. But I didn't always sound this way. Have a cadence in the way that you speak. Learn from other people. Follow the people that you do want to emulate. If somebody is living the life that you want to live, pretend like you already live it. What does that person do that you want to become? What do they look like? What do you look like in those shoes? Speak it into existence. Start to act that way. Because when you start to change within yourself and you show that to the world and to the universe, things start to shift around you. And they shift around you in your favor because you're literally speaking it into existence. You are showing the world and you're telling the universe what you want out of it. So become that version of yourself. Even if it feels weird, it feels funky, like you're pretending, you're not an imposter, you're just changing. You're going through a transformation. You're reinventing yourself. It's not supposed to feel easy. It's supposed to feel weird. It's fucking weird. You're like, but I'm so used to being this way and now I have to be this way. That's okay. Do it anyway. So speak it into fruition. The more you practice it, the easier it will get. And slowly you'll just become it in 6 months, a year, 2 years. It could be 2 weeks. Down the line, you'll be like, holy shit, I'm already so much closer to this next version of myself that I want to be. And practice being seen in the new expression that you are. So match those words and the person that you're stepping into. Fix your hair up. Start dressing different. Speak bolder. Speak louder. If you're at a table, be the first person to bring up a topic. Lead the conversation. If that's the person that you want to be, I'm just using things of my own characteristics because I know them the best. But however you want to show up, start showing up that way fully. Dress up that way. Do your hair different. Go to different places. Have different conversations with people. Express yourself. What does that person look like? Can you imagine an emo person, right? In your mind, imagine someone being emo and punk rock and the eyeliner and all black and all the things. Snow White paper face has never seen the sun. What if that person woke up one day and was like, I'm a Barbie girl. Could you imagine? It would be so weird. It would be uncomfortable. She'd be like, holy shit. Or he would be like, holy shit. I don't have anything pink in my closet. Everything is black. I never speak to anyone. I'm very reclusive. I'm secluded. I don't have anything to say. But now all of a sudden this emo person wants to be a Barbie girl. How weird would that be? It can be done though, right? Yes, because you just have to make the decision that you want to change. Well, now I want to be bubbly. Well, now I want to be quirky. Now I want to put scrunchies in my hair and I want to wear earrings and I want to put pink lipstick on and wear heels and go outside. I don't want to be stuck in the house anymore. I don't want to be quiet. I don't really like all these black clothes anymore. I changed my mind. This isn't who I want to be. If someone can change something so drastic in their life, so can you. So can you. And it's totally necessary. So start to express yourself in that way, from head to toe, inside and out. It gets better, it gets easier, but imagine being one version of yourself and then being completely the opposite version. Start to express yourself in that way. I had an epiphany a couple years ago. So a bold reinvention that I went through myself was deciding not to be in business anymore. So my boyfriend at the time, who's now my fiance, we used to work in real estate together. And I loved what I did because it was go, go, go. It kept me really busy. It was never a dull moment. And it was the most money that I ever made in my life. Literally the most money that I've ever made in my life. But I wasn't happy anymore. After so much time, I just didn't love it like I used to. And I became this version of myself. Like I said, if you don't tell the universe who you want to be, it will choose for you. So I was staying in a position that no longer served me. It didn't make me happy. I was drowning. I didn't like the person that I was becoming. I was a crazy workaholic. I was miserable. And it was affecting my personal relationship. So I had to have a really hard conversation with him and say, this isn't working for me anymore. Literally the conversation was either we stay in business together or we stay in a relationship together. But I can't do both. I won't do both. Imagine that for a second. That's a really fucking hard conversation to have with your significant other, especially working in his business that he built. So I had to reinvent myself. I had to face the fear of he could choose to leave me and we could work together instead. That's not really a conversation that I wanted to have and not a direction that I wanted to go, but I was willing to do that because I knew that for me to be who I truly am and become the person I want to be, that was a conversation that was a part of it. Also, being in that reinvention state, I had to sacrifice my income. I was used to making all this money, and I knew that when I left, I was going to be coasting for a while. And I did, and I spent that time to literally reinvent myself. Get back to me, get back to who I was, focus on myself. What makes me happy? What doesn't make me happy? Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing with my life? I went home for 2 weeks, went back to Montana, hung out with my family. Like I was lost in the sauce for a solid, 5 months, 6 months. And I would constantly talk about doing exactly what I'm doing now, hosting monthly events, having a podcast, showing up on social media more, building my personal brand, doing all these things, but I wasn't doing them. So I did go through a period of time where I was just coasting. And it's scary. It's scary to coast, but it's so necessary. And the longer that I did it and the further that I freaked myself out on like, holy shit, looking at expenses and paying all my bills, it's like, okay, I got to do something. I got to do something. I got to do something until I finally just had enough. And then I full blown just cannonballed into doing everything that I'm doing now. But it was a very big emboldening reinvention because I had to question everything that I was doing. I had to have really hard conversations with myself. I had to have hard conversations with the people around me in my own personal relationship, in my own business relationships, with my family. Like, what are you doing? What do you mean? You're just going to go off on your own and figure it out? Yeah, well, I guess I'd follow suit for everything else I've done in my life. But it's scary. It was worth it, though. Because now I get to sit here. I get to be in front of you. I get to be in this new version of myself that I've reinvented, that I actually got to fall in love with. I get to fall in love with this version of me and all the next versions of me. This is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg on all of my dreams and all the things that I will do in my life. But I had to start somewhere. And I was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone in order to get here today, because I know that it's necessary to get to where I want to be. So I had to be unapologetic about it. I had to step into my truth. I had to be honest with everything and everyone around me, most importantly, myself. But it was worth it. And here I am now. So in that, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned what I was willing to tolerate from myself. I learned what I wasn't willing to tolerate from myself. I realized who was really there for me, and I realized who wasn't. Obviously, my boyfriend at the time stayed because he's now my fiance. So that was a win. Was it hard and uncomfortable on my relationships? Yeah, I mean, there's probably several people that aren't a part of my life today that were a part of my life back then, but I don't really take it personal because I don't even, in my mind, I kind of compartmentalize things and I don't think it has a lot to do with it. But my family has watched me change. They've been concerned. It's not easy to say, you know what, I'm going all in on this one thing all by myself and I have no idea what's going to happen, and hopefully it generates money at some point so that I can keep my head above water. But that's a choice that I was willing to make. So people will stay, people will go, you'll learn a lot of lessons, you'll break shit, you'll fix shit. It's kind of a hot mess express, but it's worth it in the end. And if you feel like you want to reinvent yourself, I highly recommend it, because whichever way you're going to go is a part of the journey that you're on to get there, as long as you make the right decision. But don't stay stuck. Don't stay in the shell of the person that you are right now if you're not happy in that shell. Take your turtle self and remove yourself from the shell and sell the shell to somebody else. Maybe make a couple extra bucks. I don't know. But yeah, reinvent yourself, shed that skin. It's highly recommended by me, and I'm sure many, many other people that we all love and know and look up to. All in all, just respect and honor all the versions of yourself that you used to be, because they were all purposeful and they were all necessary for who you need to be today. Don't explain yourself to evolve to anyone. You deserve the evolution that you're going through and that you're going to go through. It's part of life. It's part of why we're here. You can be as many different versions of yourself as you want to be. You can reinvent yourself as many times as you want to. You don't need permission from anyone else. It's solely within you to make that decision and choose for yourself who you want to be at the blink of an eye, at the snap of a finger. You have the power to do that. So give yourself permission. If you feel like it's time for a change or you're going in a different direction, own it, sit on it, think about it. It's time. You're ready. And actually, even if you're not ready, reinvent yourself anyway. If you have any of the signs or scenarios that we spoke about today on this episode, definitely take it as a sign to change, move forward, and evolve. Don't ask for anybody. Just do it for yourself and see how the world around you changes. If you liked today's episode, please share it to someone you think might benefit from it. Give us 5 stars. Give me 5 stars. I'm just sitting here by myself. Follow. You guys can find me on social media at Savana_Montana or at Feral with Sav. You can see me on YouTube. Shoot me an email if you have comments, questions, concerns, stories, anything that you'd like to share, any topics that you would like brought up on the show. Please shoot me an email at feral@savannahmontana.com. Go to the website, all the things. Follow, subscribe. I will see you guys next week. In the meantime, stay feral, and I will see you next Tuesday. Not because I'm trying to say something bad here. Oh my gosh, I'm going to say goodbye now. Okay, I love you. Bye. Mwah. That's her right, baby. Who the fuck does she think she is? Let me tell you who the fuck I think I am. You got a minute?
There's the pharaoh. The pharaoh came out. We got it out. We got it.